Hey, this is Sylvester, and it's been a while, but I figure I would record something. I like using my microphone, I just haven't had time to use it. So this is a drawing I did I think I did it on Sunday. I was working on it, and it's a drawing based off another sketch I did on Saturday. On Saturday night, I did that with a color pencil, and I was just doing some regular doodle sketch kind of thing. Nothing really that great, nor that important, but I had an idea. So I came back and I scanned it, put it on my laptop, my MacBook, and I started drawing on my Wacom tablet. And I went through the motions and everything, and I eventually came up with what you're going to be seeing here in a few seconds. So I changed the stance a little bit. The original drawing, which is on the left, which you can kind of see right now, you just see the face. I was just standing straight, and then I started playing around with a different pose and kind of thing, and I figured, I'll do this kind of ninja pose of some sort, and then go from there. And I did that on Sunday, and then I changed it a little bit again. So now I have what you see on the what you're currently seeing right now. So she's not meant to be naked, though that's how I started drawing her, and I just did that so I could get an idea of her body structure, how the things are moving. I mean, things are supposed to move the way they're supposed to move, and if I get that wrong, then the illusion is broken. It doesn't look real because everyone knows how certain things look like. So if you get that wrong, then everything just went to hell. So today I figured that maybe I'll try to add some clothes, and drawing clothes is not really my strong point. Usually when I do create a character, the clothes is either armor or very it's fitted clothing. So pretty much it's whatever the body structure I create. Maybe I just add thicker lines and that's the clothes. But I'm trying to work on the clothing thing. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll give her some sort of training bra, but then again, that will make it really easy. So I'm like, well, I need to challenge myself a little bit more, and maybe I'll give her a blouse, like a loose blouse or something like that. So I started going away with the cleavage area that you see right now, because that's still something that I want to keep showing, something that I want to demonstrate. Plus I think she's sexy, so I want to go with that. I think it's a good distraction when she's facing an opponent or something. But I wasn't quite comfortable with what I was doing, as in I kept drawing the training bra and kept looking at muscle shirts to see maybe how I could do that, but the angle and everything, and again, didn't work. Was working out. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm still kind of like in that I'm gonna draw a muscle shirt or a training bra kind of thing, and I eventually erase it, which is what you're seeing now. And then I start drawing the blouse, which I then later on erase again, because I was getting frustrated. And I'm looking at a lot of references right now. This stuff is not coming out of my head, because I've never drawn. I mean, I've drawn clothing before, but never to how I like it. So I'm looking at a lot of references and doing a lot of sketches and stuff and all that crap. Then I got this other idea of how I wanted to draw her hand. In this case, it'll be her left hand. And of course, you have to pay attention to perspective now, because that hand is in front of her. So I cannot draw a little tiny hand right next to her, because then she'll look deformed. She'll look like this little deformed hot babe or something. So you have to make that hand a little bit bigger, and in this case kind of the size of the head, and I reposition it later on, which I move it closer to the head and make it a little bit bigger, giving it that, wow, this thing is really big and she's attacking, it's in front of her. But again, drawing hands is pretty hard, and it's something that I need to practice more, and I don't practice it because I get annoyed. So right now I pretty much took a picture of what I wanted to draw, and I took a picture of my hand, and I start kind of drawing it. And now that I'm looking at it again, it doesn't look that bad, but I wasn't happy with the positioning of the fingers, and I just couldn't get it right. And as you'll see, I'll go through a few variations, and I end up not going with this. I actually start researching something else, and I start researching the praying mantis style stance or whatever. And that one's a little bit different, because she's not really doing a lot with her hands. She doesn't have like this claw kind of thing, pointing in the lower direction, which is what I'm drawing right now, or at least attempting to draw. No, she has more of a pointing, it's more of a pointing forward, and then the wrist is angled downwards, as you'll see in a few minutes once I give up and drawing that hand the way I'm drawing it right now. So then, and as you can see there, I'm already kind of thinking about, well, I don't want to do that now. I want to do the other one when I have the index finger pointing outwards. And again, that's another perspective shot, and that's easier said than done. So trying to figure that out wasn't as intuitive as I wanted it to be. So what I ended up doing again was, hey, well, just look at more references. But most of the references that you find online, you don't have any of these masters doing the stance facing towards your direction. They're always sideways and all that stuff, and that's great if I wanted to draw her sideways, but I'm not. So what I ended up doing was I ended up looking at just pictures of pointing to get that perspective of how the index finger looks when it's pointing forward. And what you have to do there then is now you're giving the illusion that you have something in front of those fingers. So perspective again. And how the hell do you do that? It's not something that I'm really good at. But I start drawing circles because that's the easiest way to draw something. Just shapes, familiar shapes, triangles, circles, squares, and so on. So I start doing the circle for the index finger, and then I kind of start getting an idea, okay, this is what I want, this needs to be a little bit bigger, how do I shadow it, which is kind of what I'm going through right now. How the hell am I going to shadow this thing? And then again, the pictures that I was seeing online, it was like a fist with a finger pointing forward, which is not what I want. I don't want a fist with a pointing forward. I want something more like, okay, it's arching downward and it's doing mantis kind of style, pointing forward. So now what I did is I elevated the wrist a little bit, and then I start moving all the other fingers a little bit lower. And as you can see, I just actually lowered the index finger a little bit more so I could give it that illusion that, yeah, she's actually pointing. And at this point, I'm really annoyed because I'm not getting it. In my eyes, it doesn't look good. So I just say fuck it, and I start doing whatever I think it's good. I don't pay attention to my sketch anymore that I had in the background, and I just start doing my own thing. And at the end, I think that for what it is, it doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty good. And that's kind of where I stopped. And actually, I kind of went back to like, I want to draw her in a blouse kind of thing. So I kind of quickly just started sketching something that I'll probably draw later on and see what I did. Right now, I just started doing some fixes, zoomed in, zoomed out, and stuff like that. Because it's not easy to draw on a tablet. It's not as intuitive as drawing with a pencil or with an ink, and actually inking in real life is pretty hard. Pretty messy, actually. So what I'm doing right now, I guess I'm not done. Actually, what I'm doing now is fixing the lines a little bit by zooming in and out. And that's actually what makes me spend a lot of time when I'm drawing these pictures. Fixing the lines. It's just, you want something to look nice and everything. And this is just line work. I'm not painting and everything or anything. And I probably would have been done a long time ago had I painted instead of doing line work, but I didn't want to do that. One, because I'm not really good at it. I probably should, but I just want to do as much as line work as I can before I actually start painting something or coloring it, whatever you want to call it, right? But this is pretty much it. This is where I'm gonna stop. Thank you guys for following me, and I'll see you around. Bye.